So good morning, Vandana. Be really nice to talk about our Akshaya Patra program. And let's talk about the efforts to raise funds in this pandemic lockdown period. I know it's a very difficult time. But first of all, can you walk us through briefly about Akshaya Patra USA?
Yes, hi. Thank you, Poonam. It's wonderful to be on Sitaarre TV. As always, thank you for your support. And yes, I would love to talk about Akshay Patra as always. We are in India for the last 20 years, and we started with 1,500 meals. We currently serve 1.8 million meals to school children every single day. And having the capability of operating 55 kitchens and being able to serve millions of meals daily. Going to your question about the pandemic, we are now serving migrant workers and daily wage earners every single day since March 24th, since the lockdown started in India. Going back to what we are able to cook, we pretty much cook a full meal that a child needs. So yeah, we have started and we are feeding, I think about, we have crossed 2 crore meals since we started, since the lockdown.
So, due to this lockdown, I know it's very hard to, or maybe challenging to deliver the food to needy kids and other people. So, what are the steps Akshaya Patra has taken to serve meals to children and underprivileged?
Yes, so that's a very big question because, as you know, we operate the kitchens, they are centralized kitchens. And our complete way of operation, which is to cook meals fresh every day within 4 to 6 hours, deliver it to the schools within a distance of 20 kilometers. So there is a very elaborate cooking mechanism, a distribution mechanism. There are vehicles that are customized to deliver the food hot to school children every day. Now, all that gets disrupted in the sense that we can't use a centralized kitchens. We don't have a location to where we serve the food. These are locations where the areas where migrant workers are staying or where the need is the most, that's where the food needs to go. So in different locations, depending on the location of the kitchen, we have managed to make sure that we are able to access and people are able to access the food as much as possible. We have also made sure that if they cannot come to outside because of the lockdown to get a hot meal, then we are making sure that we are packing ration boxes. The boxes contain grains, they contain spices, they contain vegetables that have a longer shelf life, like potatoes and squashes, and making sure that a family can cook within the safety of their home and be staying indoors for at least until the lockdown is. So we used to have for 21 days, now it's extended. So we are making sure that the number of days the government announces the lockdown, that the food is available at home. And but you know, the thing about Akshay Patra is that we have stepped up in the past whenever there are disasters. So when there were floods or there were earthquakes in Nepal, we have been able to go to that location and serve the meals. In those cases, in every single one of those cases, and probably a dozen over the last 20 years or more, the thing is that the people who were affected by the disaster and our team were completely two different entities. So our teams were in good shape. They could procure the grains, they could go to that place, start the kitchen, start cooking 10,000 meals within 3 days, and do all these things. But this time, we are not afraid to cook meals. That's a given. We have been doing this for 20 years. We have cooked mass numbers of meals, millions, in fact, 3.5 billion in the last 20 years. But when our own employees, when our own volunteers have this danger that they are facing on a day-to-day basis, that how do you get to the kitchen? How do you make sure that their safety is primarily taken care of, that they have protective gear, that they have assurance that and the training to make sure that the meals that they cook are hygienic and that our serving system is the right way to do. That is where the challenge is. And being who we are, we keep learning, we keep changing, we keep pivoting according to what the need is for the hour. And right now, literally, it's day by day that as the funds come, we are able to feed.
I know it's a big, big task, to feed that many million children every day. And that's not possible without funds. It's a very necessity item, to have funds and deliver the food, prepare the food. So I know Akshaya Patra been planning a lot of events throughout the year to raise funds, and due to this lockdown, it's not possible. So, what are the steps you are taking to achieve that goal to raise funds?
Well, good question. I'll give you the difference between the two. The difference being that we have people who have committed to multi-year donations for the midday meal program. The government gives half the money for our midday meal program, 11 cents per meal. We raise 9 cents per meal. So to feed a child, it's 20 cents per meal, $20 to feed a child for an entire school year. So that's a given. That's a known number of how many meals we are going to feed, how what the budget is going to be, how much funds we need to raise. But with the COVID situation, two things have happened. One is that Indian economy, the CSR funds that people pledge to us every year, those are in a big question mark because people don't know what this is going to happen, what's next, and so they're afraid to give to CSR. So might happen that companies might delay giving money for the midday meal program. The government's money is always a given. There's that assurance that at least those funds will be available for us. But what happens with the COVID situation is that the governments are inviting us to feed migrant workers in some places. Some places they are providing the funds that we desperately need. And also, our corporate sponsors who have been giving CSR all these days are stepping up and saying, this is great. We trust that the way you do things is the right way to do it. And here's money for us. So, in that respect, yes, our corporate donors in India, retail donors from all kinds of different areas are joining and teaming up. Thousands of volunteers are actually joining to come and distribute the meals and package it, and I'll be happy to share a video with you for that. But the COVID situation is different in the sense that we need to make sure that the funds are available first and then we can feed. There is no given that there is no assurance that if we want to feed 10 million, that we will be able to do that. We have the strength and we have the operative knowledge to do that, but prices keep changing, a lot of those things keep changing, and that's where our challenge is.
So, are you planning any fundraising events? I know it's difficult. Any virtual events?
Yeah, that's a big deal for us, is that we have been in front of people, about 5,000 people in the last 2 years. Every year 5,000 people, everything. We had 40 events last year, and this year, because of the COVID crisis, the need has increased, but we can't do events. So we are planning virtual galas. The first one is on May the 3rd. And what happened was we already had Boston planned. We had 60 donors who were ready to support the Boston Gala. We had the venues, food caterers, everything was done. And then we found that we should not be doing this because of the COVID situation. And right as soon as it got into the news, we said we should make an executive decision, which the Boston team wholeheartedly supported. And so we are planning to have a virtual gala hosted by the Boston chapter. But at the same time, all the chapters across the US are joining up. They're asking their sponsors in each city to donate and come and attend the gala. So this virtual gala will be on May the 3rd at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a capacity of 1,000 devices. So if there is one device shared between a family, then we could have more people. And so we are looking forward to a minimum of 1,000 people joining in. And we are very fortunate to have keynotes. One of them is Professor Ashish Jha, who is the world global expert on COVID. He teaches public health in Harvard. The second is Professor Kash Rangan. Professor Rangan is a long-time supporter. In fact, both of them are of Akshaya Patra. Harvard had done a case study for us, and they supported this midday meal program in the sense that it not only brings more children to school, it increases the number of girls who attend school, and it also impacts how they study and how much they can focus on their learning. So, as I always say, you could be a grown up, you could be anybody, and you could have any amount of resources. But if you haven't eaten a meal in the last 24 hours, I could challenge you to learn anything new. So, yeah, we have this gala coming up, and it's very easy to register. It's free for anybody who would like to join. You would like to listen to these experts. It's a live event, so you could ask questions and, of course, support Akshay Patra.
So how can people join to that gala?
They can email us at contact@apusa.org. We also have our website, foodforeducation.org. And you can go to that website. We have the Boston event on the website, and there is a link to join.
That's good. So that's where they can donate also if they cannot join the gala?
Absolutely. All donations are welcome. If you like to specify it for the COVID campaign, that's fine. If you would like to support the midday meal program, that's fine. And if you want to give a larger donation, you want to keep it anonymous, of course, we respect that. And we can publish the email address that you can email us to.
Great. Those are the great efforts. You don't forget to feed the children even in this difficult time, and that's very important. Is there anything else you would like our viewers to know about Akshaya Patra, or any programs or donation or fundraising, anything you would like to share?
Absolutely. We have, as I said, a lot of people found out about Akshay Patra because of the COVID campaign. I think all the Google searches are showing up, all the work we have done. There's a lot of media coverage on the program that we are doing in India. But in the US, we have a donor who is matching $100,000, and he's only matching until, I think, April 21st. So if you happen to be on our website, look for that campaign. It's called the 100K matching campaign. And the donor is ready to match 100,000 towards COVID relief, as well as 100,000 towards the midday meal program. So you don't have to choose. You can give to both, or give either one, whichever you would like to give to.
Great. It's really nice to hear all the efforts done by Akshaya Patra and Vandana. I really appreciate your time and educating us about your efforts, virtual gala. And it's my honor, pleasure to bring this in front of our Sitaarre TV viewers. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Poonam. Much, much obliged, and really appreciate you guys helping us every single time. I would love to have you join the gala, and forward to seeing you then.